What are the future goals for nxtARROW?
Future goals? Well, my most grandiose goal
Yeah.
is to take over the HSBC tower when the company moves out. And Phillips Little is probably going to move out as well. And a lot of the city fathers, the primary landowners downtown, are very stressed out about that. And it's unnecessary because you know, I think everybody in Buffalo seems to operate with a zero-sum mentality. You know, they're also worried about the Statler, where we're going to get $150 million to redo the Statler. How we're going to find people to fill up the office space if HSBC moves somewhere else.
Okay.
And all of those assumptions are, it's a zero sum, we don't have anything other than what we have. And my vision is, you know, we have, you know, all the money in the world that we can bring to Buffalo. It doesn't have to be Buffalo money.
Yeah.
And we have all the people in the world who may want to develop a business and come to Buffalo. We can fill that tower.
Yeah.
You know, if we have the space, we can fill it. So my most grandiose dream is to make the HSBC building the nxtARROW building, to make it the world's tallest incubator, and to bring in, you know, 40 companies a year and fill up each floor with a company. So I think that would be pretty exciting.
I'd be happy to help you do that. That'd be great.
I'd love to see our logo up there on top of the building. And then after that, we'd probably have to take over the arena and get that named as well.
Yeah, of course. And so just to switch gears a little bit back to Buffalo.
Right.
Don Esmond wrote an article, I guess it was, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or a month ago, and it was about the depopulation.
Right.
Of Buffalo.
Right.
I'm interested in your opinion about depopulation.
I think Buffalo can potentially benefit a great deal from depopulation. I mean, that's really what the benefits of depopulation is, what I'm selling. So obviously we're going to reverse that trend eventually. Okay. And I really, you know, our goal is to repopulate downtown, especially, both commercially and residentially. Yeah. Because I think what the new model of a city is mixed use. Is people living downtown. It's people living where they work. Period. Yeah. Period. And you know, I know that there's a lot of people living downtown who didn't used to live here. There didn't used to be pretty much any residents downtown, other than some projects. Now we've got a lot of different people living downtown, from fairly high-end people in city center to a lot of student housing down here. And as soon as we hit a critical mass, there's going to be Wegmans downtown. There's going to be convenience stores downtown. All the retail space is going to start to fill up again. And the focus grouping that we've done with potential people who might come into Buffalo to start their businesses are people who would like to live near where they work, or even in the same building where they work. Yeah. Part of the reason for that is people's distorted views of the weather here. But you know, regardless, I think it would make it easier for us to bring people in if we had residential space downtown that we could offer them, you know, very close to their business space. And so I really think that you know, the fact that we don't have traffic here, as I mentioned before, the fact that because of depopulation, everything is less expensive, and if you really, I mean, one of the things that excites me about Buffalo is that this is the urban equivalent of the Wild West. I mean, you can do homesteading, you know, in certain neighborhoods in Buffalo. You can buy a house for $1. That's right, yeah. And you can make it yours. You can buy office space for $1, or manufacturing space for $1. So if you don't want somebody to, if you don't want to get into a long-term lease and be a tenant, you can buy the space, you can do it yourself. So one way or the other, there's so many opportunities for people to come here, get in on the ground floor of the rebuilding of the city and the repopulating the city, and you know, hopefully, you know, we will have some traffic here.
There's a lot of room.
There's definitely a lot of room.
There's a lot of elbow room for innovation. Absolutely. For entrepreneurship. Right. And so, in your opinion, how long will that take? How long?
You know, I don't think it needs to take a long time. It just really depends on, I mean, how I think what we'd like to do at nxtARROW is to start a movement, not necessarily be the whole movement. Okay, right. And you know, so we're bringing in, at the same time, Buffalo Niagara Enterprise, for instance, is recruiting companies that are, you know, at least $500,000 and, you know, 100 employees, and bringing them from China and from other countries and Canada. Okay. We're trying to bring in a company maybe that's a one-owner company, and I mean a one-owner, one-employer company. Yeah. So we're bringing in bootstrappers. So our goal would be for the first year, we want to bring in 20 companies who will hire one person by the time the year is over. Okay. If that happens, that's a minimum of $1 million in the economy that we didn't have before. Yeah. That's also 2 more people living in our excess capacity office space and residential space.
Who are active
and contributing. Yeah. And so you'll see traffic starting to get a little bit tighter, you know. I mean, gradually it's
well, that would be exciting, maybe for some people.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, you know, again, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I know I certainly enjoyed moving here from Chicago. I moved back, you know, back home after many years in Chicago, and it takes longer to get from one end of the entrance lane to right onto the Kennedy Expressway in Chicago than it takes to drive across the city of Buffalo in rush hour. You know, you can spend more on a down payment on a house than we spent on a house that we bought. You know, it's just amazing. So we're definitely aiming our marketing efforts right now at some of the most expensive markets in the country. And, you know, eventually the benefits will be gone because we'll be repopulated, and then I suppose we'll have to move our efforts to a different city. But we'll keep the headquarters.
Where's the place that you take a client? First and foremost.
I take them around downtown. I show them all the architecture. I give them a drive. We'll kind of get on the we'll get on the 190 and go up to the Skajakwita and drive around, you know, the museums, and then come back down the 33. And then I take them up near where I live to we'll park the car at the beginning of Chapin Parkway right off of Gate Circle, and we'll walk up to Lincoln Parkway, up, at least if the weather's nice, up to the park. And the art gallery. And what was really interesting about the first time I gave a prospect a tour like that, it was a fairly cold morning in the fall, and we were out walking, and this person is a black woman, and we were walking in the very upscale neighborhood that is, up the parkways, and at least 5 people stopped us and said good morning, and chatted us up a little bit. And she just looked at me and she said, "This would never happen in Boston." And I said, "That's why you're going to move here."
It's huge, And so you bought a house relatively inexpensively.
Yes, I mean, we bought a house for $67,000. It's in the Delaware district. It's 2 blocks east of Delaware on Oxford Avenue. And it's, you know, 2-minute walk to Gate Circle and to Chapin Parkway. And the neighborhood that we're in is definitely it's marginal, but it's on the way back. And actually, Oxford Avenue, at its when it was being built, it was built by a number of very important, prominent business owners in the city and professionals. The houses were designed by some very prominent architects of their day. One of them was inhabited by the architect who designed it. One of the houses was occupied by the corporate council of Standard Oil before they were broken up. You know, so we're talking some pretty important people. And, you know, our house was, you know, a leading company. They owned a company called Buffalo Catering Company. They were in the house for 3 generations. The 3rd generation went on. She had an art studio on the 3rd floor where my daughter lives. She went on to found Syracuse University Department of the Fine Arts.
So you're in good company.
So we're in good company. And a lot of the properties on the block are definitely somewhat distressed, but we've got a great block club. And yesterday, for instance, the block club went out and picked up all the litter and cleaned up the vacant lots, and it's a pristine neighborhood today.
And so a block club is all the people that live on a block?
Basically, most of the city's organized into block clubs, and ours is actually probably 2 blocks by 2 blocks, so it's like 4 square blocks. And the people that live there that really want to make the neighborhood better, we meet once a month. And we've been pretty effective in getting the bad elements out of the neighborhood, keeping a close watch on abandoned properties, making sure they're not being exploited. And yesterday we just picked up a lot of trash.
Very good.